down here in the desert. The desert is absolutely blooming with beautiful colors here in Arizona. The Mariners are getting ready for another season. Ichiro is getting loose. There's the ace of the ball club, Felix Hernandez. And Eric Wedge begins his second season as the skipper of the Mariners. Welcome to Cactus League Baseball. The temperature has been outstanding all week long in the 70s and the low 80s. And we've got a great crowd tonight here at the Peoria Sports Complex as the Mariners get ready to take on the Kansas City Royals for our first telecast of the 2012 Cactus League season. Hi again, everybody. I'm Rick Riz along with Mike Blowers. The Mariners are playing well here at the start of the spring. Mike, 9-3 to kick things off and scoring a lot of runs and having some fun.
They are, and so far I think Eric Wedge has to be thrilled with the way camp has gone. The club is winning ball games, and you said it offensively. The struggle for the Mariners last year, they have really pounded the baseball this spring, and it goes up and down the lineup for them. So other than Franklin Gutierrez having his injury, the Mariners have had a really nice spring up to this point.
Number of guys trying to win a spot on this ball club, including 37-year-old veteran Kevin Millwood. He was with Eric Wedge in Cleveland back in 2005. He's trying to win a spot in the rotation tonight.
Well, as you look at the Mariners this year, they're going to be a young ball club, so they need some veterans, and Millwood will bring that presence. I'm sure that Wedge would like to see him pitch well. So far, Millwood has now walked a batter. This will be his third appearance of the spring, and hopefully it'll be a good one.
It's a beautiful night out for baseball here in Peoria, Arizona. The Mariners against the Kansas City Royals, and we'll be back and have a look at tonight's starting lineups. But after this timeout, enjoy the rest of the day in the sunshine. And welcome back to the Peoria Sports Complex here in Peoria, Arizona. Rick Riz, Mike Blowers, and Blow. A look at tonight's starting lineups for the Kansas City Royals.
Leading things off for the Royals, it'll be Alex Gordon. Then it's Chris Getz. Eric Hosmer, the exciting rookie last year, will hit third. Then Frank Meyer, former Mariner, Unieski Betancourt hitting sixth. Lorenzo Cain seventh. Then it's Brian Pena, the catcher, hitting eighth. Alcides Escobar, exciting young shortstop, will hit ninth. Numbers for Millwood last season with the Rockies, 9 starts for him, ERA to 3.98, only 8 walks in the 54 2/3 innings that he pitched.
So Kevin Millwood trying to win a spot in that starting rotation. He's ready to go on a beautiful night here in Peoria. The first pitch on the way to Alex Gordon. Swings, sends a fly ball into left center field, not going anywhere, but Carlos Peguero is there. One pitch, and there's one away.
Let's take a look at the rest of the defense as Peguero puts that fly ball away out in left field. In center field tonight, it'll be Michael Saunders. Big story so far this spring with Franklin Gutierrez being injured. Then it's Ichiro Suzuki out in right. Catcher Collins starting at third base. Ryan and Ackley up the middle. Justin Smoke will get the start at first base, and Miguel Olivo will do the catching.
So quickly one down for Kansas City. Kevin Millwood out of Gastonia, North Carolina, delivers a fastball up and away to Chris Getz for ball one. Millwood back with his good friend Eric Wedge and also pitching coach Carl Willis. They were together the 1 year that Millwood was in Cleveland back in 2005. And Mike, what a year he had. He led the American League with a 2.86 ERA.
He pitched great for Eric Wedge, and I think the biggest part of that, though, is what he brings to the clubhouse. A veteran now, 37 years old, and they need that presence. Mariners a young club, but more importantly, he has to pitch well and trying to win a spot in this rotation. We know that we have Felix Hernandez leading things off, and then it'll be Vargas, and after that we have a number of guys trying to get 3, 4, 5 nailed down, and I think Eric Wedge would love to have Millwood on this club.
To give you an idea about Millwood's desire to make this ball club, next pitch misses up and in for ball 3, 3-1. There was an inter-squad game a few weeks ago. He wanted a scouting report on Dustin Ackley. He said, he told Carl Willis, hey, I got to make this ball club. Full count, 3-2.
That's a veteran presence right there.
Yeah.
That'll let you know. And he understands that. He's trying to make this club. Had 9 starts with the Rockies last year. But I think also, as far as the coaching staff goes, they are familiar with him.
Payoff pitch to Getz. And it's up and in for ball 4. So Getz on at first base. 1 on, 1 away. No score just underway here in Peoria. Fans up there on the berm and the outfield, above the outfield wall here in Peoria, enjoying tonight's game. Our first night game of the Cactus League season will also be under the lights tomorrow night when the Mariners play the San Francisco Giants. It was just a few days ago that the Mariners and the Padres up their time here in Peoria. They just signed a new lease for another 20 years. This is Eric Hosmer, and he takes a strike, and the count is 0-1. So the Mariners will be training right here in Peoria for a long, long time. This young man had a heck of a year last year for the Royals. Hit .293 with 19 home runs and 78 runs batted in after starting off the year down at AAA Omaha. One of the top young players in all of baseball. Up and away and off the glove of the catcher Miguel Olivo all the way to the backstop, and down to second goes Getz on a wild pitch. So Mariner fans, Mike, will see a lot of talented young players this year. They did last year. 18 rookies, 12 made their major league debuts. Fans in Kansas City will see the same thing with Hosmer, Moustakas, and Salvador Perez.
And like the Mariners, the players you just mentioned, all of them getting experience, major league experience last year. So they're over that hurdle now, and now there'll be an opening day roster, and that is a bunch of challenges for them at that point, having to get through 162 games and grinding out a major league season.
After you spent that first year in the big leagues when you first came up, how much more confident or relaxed were you that following spring?
I was definitely more confident, relaxed. Not really. That's the hard part, is to stick around. It's easy to get, well, I shouldn't say it's easy. It's not easy to get to the big leagues, but once you get here, it's really difficult to stay, Rick. And if you relax, you're in trouble. Because there are a number of guys that are trying to take your job. And as you look at the Mariners this spring, there are a number of jobs that guys are competing for. And even though they have experience and they have confidence to play at this level, there are only so many jobs out there. And you really can't let your guard down at all. You better come to camp in shape and ready to go.
Millwood behind in the count, 3-1 on Hosmer, dangerous hitter, and up and away it goes with an off-speed pitch for ball 4. So after taking care of the leadoff batter Gordon with one pitch, he walks Getz, and now Hosmer So 2 on for the Royals, and that'll bring up designated hitter Jeff Francoeur. Manager Eric Wedge keeping an eye on everybody this spring. Last year, he had a lot on his plate, Mike, because he didn't know anybody other than, seeing Ichiro play. He had to find out what everybody could do even during the course of the regular season. Now, he said, they've got that rookie experience out of the way, and there's now more expectations on some young players.
Well, he had to deal with a lot of players, and there was a lot of turnover in players for the Mariners last year, and he had an opportunity to watch them up close at the major league level. So coming into spring training this year, he has a much better idea of what he's looking for. And to be fair, a lot of the younger guys, he has them penciled in a spot. So Smoke is going to be at first base. Right. Ackley will be at second base. Carp now is going to be a big part of this club out in left field and DH. And so a lot of those things have been settled. But it's just a matter of staying on top of them and getting to the point to where they're winning ball games. And, it was interesting. You and I had a chance to talk to him the other morning. And that's what he was saying, is that he's going to hold everybody accountable, from the veterans to the rookies.
Ground ball to short. Ryan over to second one. Athletes relay in time. Double play. And Kevin Millwood gets out of the jam in the top of the first inning. They get Hosmer at second and double up Francoeur at first base, and that will retire the side. We go to the bottom of the first, underway here in Peoria. Royals nothing, and the Mariners coming up. To the bottom of the first inning, no score, and Dustin Ackley will lead things off. Mike, look at the starting lineups for the Mariners.
Thank you, Rick, and for Eric Wedge. Dustin Ackley will lead things off. It'll be Wells, the DH, hitting second. Ichiro hitting third. Smoke, Figueroa, and Olivo in the middle of the order. Saunders, Catricala, and Brendan Ryan rounding out the 9. Take a look at the numbers for Aaron Crow, 2011 season. 4-4 record at 2.76 ERA. A lot of success for him. 62 innings pitched, 65 strikeouts.
And his first pitch to Ackley is over for a strike, 0-1. Last year, Crow making the All-Star team as a reliever. They're looking at the possibility of him making the starting rotation this year. That's one of the weaknesses of the Royals, is that starting rotation. But if they can find somebody up in that 1 and 2 spot, they'll make a big improvement this year.
And you were talking about confidence. Crow certainly gained a lot of that, posting a 2.76 ERA and making the All-Star team, Rick. So he is somebody that I think they're going to lean on heavily and hopefully try to take one of those spots at the top of their rotation.
And a swing and a miss by Dustin for strike 3. Got him on a breaking ball, so 1 out for the Mariners here in the first inning.
Let's take a look at the defense for the Royals in this evening's game. In the outfield will be Gordon, Kane, and Meyer. On the infield, Betcourt, Unieski Betcourt, former will be at third base. Escobar and Getz play up the middle. Eric Hosmer, the outstanding rookie last year at first base, and Brian Pena will do the catching.
Alex Gordon winning a Gold Glove last year out in left field. So here is designated hitter Casper Wells, and he takes a fastball up and away for ball 1.
And that's saying something with Gordon, because he came up as a third baseman, and they eventually moved him out to left field to try to free him up offensively, and his offense really came around as well.
Bouncing ball foul along the third base side. 1-1. Lou Piniella put you out in left field for a little while, didn't he?
For a little while.
Just a handful of games.
That's it. A handful of games, Ricky. That was enough.
Remember you telling me the story. Lou coming up to his son. Can you play left field for me for tonight? Down and away. Ball 2. 2-1 on Wells.
Yep, and I ran over and ended up getting Sammy Mejias, who was the outfield coach, said, Sammy, we better get out there for some early work.
Because you said, sure, Lou, no problem. Of course. Broken bat, ground ball, wide of third, picked up by Bencourt. Toss across in time to get Wells. So 2 down for the Mariners here in the bottom of the first inning. No score.
And we talked about the success of Crow last year. He gets in on the hands of Wells. He tries to pull his hands in tight, get the barrel to it. Cannot do it. And Unieski Bencourt makes the play.
Wells going back with nothing but the handle of the bat. So 2 outs, and here's Ichiro batting in the number 3 spot in the order. Fouls away the first pitch, and it's 0-1. For 11 years, Ichiro occupying that leadoff spot, Mike.
It will be interesting to see how he progresses this year, moving to hitting third. He's had so much success hitting in the leadoff spot.
Yeah.
And you're asking him to do something in his career to move to help the ball club, which he's willing to do.
Line into right center field. A base hit for Ichiro to turn. He will stop there. Up with the ball as Mitch Meyer gets a throw in. So Ichiro with a 2-out single for the Mariners here in the bottom of the first inning.
There's been some talk about Ichiro maybe making an adjustment with his stance. Whiting a little wide for him. Not a lot, but he's able to get on top of that fastball and hit it hard into right field. See if that can translate into a little more power for Ichiro. We'll see.
Drive in some runs in that number 3 spot. And here is first baseman Justin Smoke. Rough year for Justin last year with the injuries. He had to start and stop his season 4 times. Well, if this kid is going to stay healthy all season long, Mike, he's going to put up some big numbers.
Well, I'll say this. He's done everything he possibly could do over the course of the winter to keep himself in the lineup. He looks great.
Yeah.
He looks strong. And talking to him, he has a lot of confidence. You can see he's having a good spring, hitting over 400. But they need him in the middle of the lineup, a switch hitter with power.
Up the middle, but in behind second already. Escobar, he'll throw to first base. Ichiro down that line, and Smoke is out at first. And then we'll retire the side. Alcides Escobar in the right spot to get to that ground ball. We go to the second here in Peoria. Mariners Royals, no score. Are now on sale. Pick up seats to great giveaways, marquee matchups, and exciting events, including opening night. Buy early and save when you get your single game tickets. Available now at any Mariners team store, the Safeco Field box office, and Mariners.com. Fans up on the berm here at the Peoria Sports Complex as we go to the top half of the second. Mariners and the Royals, no score. Right fielder Mitch Meyer leads it off, and he takes a Millwood fastball high and outside for ball one. Nothing better for the fans to come down from the Pacific Northwest, Mike, from the cold, the rain. Understand it was snowing earlier today back home, and come down to where it was 80 degrees earlier this afternoon.
The weather has been great. A lot of fans. It's nice to see fans out early too to watch the workouts and get on the backfields, get really close to the players and get a chance to see the amount of work that they put in, the things that they're working on. And of course, you get a little break from the sun. It's a bright, sunshiny day today for a night baseball game.
Somebody asked me the other day, what's the difference between down here and what do the fans, miss? I said, well, up there in the Northwest, they miss that big shiny orb in the sky.
That's true. That's true.
It's beautiful down here.
I think also you get a lot closer to the players down here.
Yeah.
Obviously the stadium's not as big as the one that you're going to see at Safeco Field as Millwood walks Meyer. Interesting, Millwood hadn't walked a batter coming into this game, and that's his third walk so far.
Helped out his cause in the first inning when he got Jeff Rancourt to bounce into an inning-ending 6-4 3-double play. But this guy is usually always in the strike zone.
You look at his numbers last year when he worked his way back to the big leagues with the Rockies, and only 8 walks for him for the time that he was up in his 9 starts.
Veteran influence on the young pitchers on this ball club. Kevin and I were talking a few weeks ago when I first got here. I said, who were the guys that helped you when you were a kid back in '97 when you first came up with the Atlanta Braves? Here's Yuniesky Betancourt, the ex-Mariner, and he takes a strike 0-1. He mentioned some pretty good names: Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, and John Smoltz. I said, 3 good guys to listen to.
Man, he was a different pitcher than a power pitcher, throwing in the mid-90s. Yeah. So he's had to make his adjustments, and because he's been able to make his adjustments, he still has a big league uniform on and trying to make a club.
Down and away to Betancourt, and the dirt stopped by Miggy. 1-1 on Uni, who was with Milwaukee last year. Hit .252 for the Brewers, who won the National League Central with 13 home runs, 68 RBIs back in Kansas City. Originally signed by Seattle. 1-2.
And with Escobar at shortstop for the Royals, Yuniesky going to be a utility guy, I think, more than anything. Play some third, second base, and then fill in. Escobar, a young player, he'll play without injury 140 to 150 games. So he's going to have to move around a little bit.
Escobar did a nice job defensively at shortstop after he came over in that trade with Milwaukee for Zach Greinke. Fouled back by Betancourt, and this count is still 1-2. We saw Greinke yesterday over in Maryville against the Brewers. 16 wins last year.
He looked great.
Award a few years ago.
He looked like he was ready to go.
Millwood looking for another ground ball. Meyer lead at first base. Nobody out, no score. Curve is down and away. Ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mike, at this point in the spring, the Mariners have played 13 games, 9-3 and 1 tie. Where are the pitchers? Where are the hitters at this point?
I think the hitters right now, they definitely are able to handle the fastball. The game is starting to slow down for them a little bit. Probably still trying to track the breaking ball a little bit more, and I think they're probably ahead of the pitchers. The pitchers, from what I've been able to see, they're still at that point in spring training where they're not working the edges quite as much, more in the middle of the plate, trying to throw strikes, build their arm strength up, work on their breaking ball at this point. So I think the hitters may be a little bit ahead of the pitchers.
Toss over to first base to get Meyer back to the bag with the trip to Japan coming up. Everything has been moved up for the Mariners. So
the Mariners had to show up early this year, and that's the reason why you look at the pitch counts and where these guys are going. It's accelerated because they're going to have their opener in 2 weeks from today.
Yep.
in Japan.
March 28th and 29th, Mariners open up the regular season in Tokyo at the Tokyo Dome against the Oakland A's. Just 2 weeks from today. How about that? And then the Mariners come back to Arizona.
Well, they will leave and go to Japan and just continue to work out and play some exhibition games over there before they actually have their opener on the 28th.
Up and away. Full count 3-2. Here's a look at the Mariners schedule. They take on the Giants tomorrow, Sunday against the Rockies, and then they come back after the trip to Japan in early April. They're going to be taking on the Royals, Rockies for a couple of games, and then go on a road trip. But the Mariners and the A's live at 2:30 in the morning on March the 28th, 1:30 in the morning, with a replay later on that night. Fouled back by Betancourt, and the count is still 3-2. So, Mike, you're going to have to get up early. You're going to do the broadcast back at the studios of Root Sports.
Yeah, looking forward to it. And, again, Root will replay it, so everybody will get a chance, of those that aren't going to be up with me, to do the game.
Everybody's going to stay up with you.
I think so. Why not?
Sure.
Season opener.
Got to.
Yeah.
There goes Meyer. Fly ball, right field. Ichiro going back. He's there. Makes the catch. Meyer heading back to the bag. The throw is smoked out in time. So Meyer was running with the pitch. Heads out back and makes it to first base as Betancourt flies out. 1 on and 1 away.
We look at Ichiro retreating to make the catch. Sees that Meyer all the way down to second base. Meyer above average speed, able to slide back into first easily.
I think Brendan Ryan was doing some acting down there at second base.
He was trying because it looked like Meyer picked it up late, which gave Ichiro a chance to even make the throw.
Brendan Ryan making Meyer thinking that ball possibly got in there for a hit. 1 on 1 away, no score. And here's center fielder Lorenzo Cain, talented youngster who spent most of the season last year at AAA Omaha. Down the middle. Fastball for a strike, 0-1. Cain with the Royals hit .273, no home runs and 1 RBI. General manager for Kansas City is Dayton Moore. He's taking a look at his youngsters, as is GM Jack Sarensic of the Mariners. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Good fastball from Millwood, trying to go inside, stay on the hands of Cain. Is able to get it through. You can see the late run on his fastball. Olivo set up on the corner, ties Cain up.
That's Kelvin Millwood when he's on. He's hitting his spots, Mike. To Hopper to third. Catricella down to second. Relay to first. Not in time. They get the out at second on Mitch Meyer, but Cain can run. He's safe at first base. Benny down to Dustin for the second out of the inning.
Catricella in good shape, gets the short hop. Perfect throw to Ackley at second base, but again, Cain's speed.
Nice stretch by Justin.
Barely beats that out.
Trying to shorten up the throw. This kid was the Mariners minor league player of the year last year. Started off at High Desert, went to Jackson. Vinny Catricella, 26 home runs overall and 106 runs batted in. And Mike, he could play third base.
He has been impressive this spring. It's watching him swing the bat. Big kid, strong kid, and we've seen him drive the baseball. I think he's definitely made an impression on Eric Wedge, which is something I'm sure he wanted to do. Good looking athlete, play the outfield.
This is catcher Brian Pena, and he takes a look at ball one. We were talking to Jack Sarensic on our weekly Cactus League report on radio over at the Salty Senorita. He said that it's nice to have competition. There's a logjam over there at third base. With Franklin Gutierrez out for 4 weeks, you've got Saunders, Wells, Figgins in center field. But then you have Figgins at third base also in the mix there because he's going to be leading off. But then you have Catricella, who's had a real good spring. Alex Liddy and Kyle Seager. He says it's nice to have a logjam like that. A lot of clubs would like to have that.
They would. Young players and all of them talented. It's going to make some decisions tough. You have to keep in mind that because they're young, do you want them to continue to play every day in the minor leagues, or do you want to have them on your club and playing a couple times a week? And those are some of the things that they're going to have to try to figure out. And who can adjust to that to help the club win games? Because that's the most important thing.
Yeah, exactly. Fouled away on the first base side by Pena. The count 1-2. And there's got to be a certain point with how many games are able to play up here, you know, where they don't lose that edge compared to playing every day down in the minor leagues.
That and because it is spring training, you're talking about young players, it's hard to just look at their numbers and see what those are going to translate without them having the experience at the major league level, Rick. That's, I think, the most difficult thing. Are they really ready? You know, you play down here in Arizona, the pitchers aren't as sharp as they're going to be. Scouting reports on what they're going to be, and these guys are having a lot of success. Will that translate? And that's the hard thing. That's I think, for the coaching staff, the manager. You mentioned Jack Zarenzik and his staff of people having to filter through that and try to make the best decision.
Numbers are numbers at spring training, and they don't mean a whole lot right now because they can be at 400, they could be at 150. But then later on during the course of the spring, those at-bats start to add up. As a team, the Mariners are hitting .294. They have 16 home runs, 80 RBIs, 87 runs during the spring. So those are the numbers, Mike, in the first couple of weeks of the spring. But you and I were talking the other day. Hey, it's about, there goes the runner at first. Ground ball foul on the first base side by Pena as Kane took off. So the numbers are the numbers, but it's okay to start getting that confidence offensively at this point in the spring.
No, it's don't misunderstand me. It's great for the young kids to gain that confidence. A lot of them are having that. Michael Saunders, you see right there, having a terrific spring.
Yeah.
Really has changed his approach at the plate, and it's paying off down here. Same with Peguero, leading the club in home runs so far this spring. Talented people, but they're young.
Yeah.
And that's the difficult part. You want them to have that success, but you have to make a decision as a coaching staff and a front office how that's going to translate. And maybe some of them limited in their at-bats when they're used to playing every day. And when you're down here in spring training, the younger guys typically get in the games on a daily basis. It's the veteran guys that maybe miss a game here and there to give them a day off. And so you have to try to think about all those things and how are they going to react and respond to being on the bench for a period of time.
Breaking ball popped up in behind second. Brendan Ryan is there, and he makes the easy catch to end the inning. No runs, no hits, a man left on. We go to the bottom of inning number 2. Mariners Royals, no score.
Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Banner Bank. Better ideas, better banking. By your Western Washington Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. And by the Emerald Queen Casino. It's time to rock with Big and Rich. April 14th at the Emerald Queen Casino with a special guest, Cowboy Troy. For tickets, go to emeraldqueen.com. Hi, everybody. Angie Mentic here, along with Rick and Mike. And coming up throughout the game, we'll be been chatting with some of the players. Actually, there's only about 1 or 2 players that are not scheduled to play in tonight's game that are actually here. So the skipper tells me that he's going to play, guys, 5 or 6 innings. So as those guys start to come out of the game, we will stop and chat with them. And maybe we can track down. I saw Felix just walk by. Maybe we can track these guys down. Rick?
All right, Angie, thank you so much. We go to the bottom half of the second, no score, and Carlos Peguero will lead things off. 1-0 the count on Carlos. Off to a good start, batting .308 for the spring. 3 home runs, Mike, and 6 runs batted in. 1 hopper to second, charging his gets. He's got it, and he gets Peguero at first base, so 1 away. That'll bring up catcher Miguel Olivo. Aaron Crow, his second appearance of the spring, just 25 years of age, high draft pick by the Royals. Good to see former Royal and current Hall of Famer George Brett here at the ballpark. George was in uniform. He's somewhere down inside that dugout. Here's a strike on Miguel, and the count is 0-1. And during the heyday of the Royals, George Brett, Mike, was right in the middle of everything.
I think at one time there was a period of time where he was the best player in the game. There's George Brett.
Number 5, George Brett on your right. On your far right, Mr. Brett. What a career. And one of the great guys in the game of baseball. Swing and a miss by Miggy. Strike 3. So 2 down for the Mariners here in the bottom of inning number 2. Second strikeout for Crow. Brings up center fielder Michael Saunders. And Mike, what a spring for this kid. He has really turned things around.
Well, you look at his numbers so far this spring, hitting .409, has a home run, but he's hit the ball hard consistently. .409 average says that, but I think if you watch him, and the biggest thing with him has been his approach at the plate. Rick, he's such a talented athlete, and last year it seemed like he was always in that 0-2-1-2 count, and that's difficult for any hitter to try to have success that way. Michael struggled through it, but I think for him, he thought about it. Eric Wedge had talked to him about it. He went into the winter, worked extremely hard, and we've seen him be aggressive in the strike zone.
Yeah.
And because of that, he's having success. Now, again, it is spring training, but you have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And for Michael, getting an opportunity, unfortunately, because of the injury to Franklin Gutierrez, maybe the better center fielder out of the bunch, more experience than the rest of the guys, but he's also showing it offensively. And I think he's really opened up a lot of eyes, and people are excited about what his potential can still be just because he's such a good athlete. You take a look at Chris Chambliss, the hitting coach. But I think for Michael, he was having a tough time, pitches inside, and because of that, he would chase breaking balls in the dirt, and we've just seen him not get into those counts so much. More of these types of counts where he's 3-1, 2-0, 3-2, making it a lot easier on himself to get some fastballs to hit.
Exactly. He was real passive last year. A lot of times 0-2, but broken bat, ground ball to short. Up with the ball is Escobar. So that will retire the side, but a different Michael Saunders this spring. And we go to the top of the third here in Peoria, Arizona. No score.
Baseball is back. New additions and returning stars take the field as Seattle faces the San Francisco Giants under the lights in Peoria. It's Mariners Cactus League Baseball tomorrow at 7 on Root Sports.
It's the event that welcomes baseball back to Seattle each spring. It's Mariners opening night, and it's set for Friday, April 13th. To make sure you're on hand to welcome your hometown team back, pick up tickets to Mariners Night versus the Oakland A's now at Mariners.com. Man, we have some of the most beautiful sunsets right here in Arizona. Look at that. The oranges, the reds, the yellows, the purple. What a shot. Way to go, fellas. We go to the top half of inning number 3. Mariners and the Royals. There's no score. And here's Alcides Escobar to lead things off. And he takes a strike from Kevin Mill with 0-1. And the sunrises are like that as well, Mike. Early in the morning.
And in spring training, we have the opportunity to see those sunrises, right?
Absolutely beautiful. Fly ball lifted to right center field. Going back for the ball to the warning track. Ichiro with a little leap, and he's there to make the catch. Have some carry down here in Arizona, don't you, Mike?
It looked like it was a routine fly ball. I think Ichiro even fooled him a little bit. The flag's straight down. Not much wind tonight, but a warm evening, so the ball still carry. Take a look at the swing by Escobar. Catches it on the barrel, and Ichiro kept drifting and drifting. Gets back on the warning track. Has to leap at the end. I'm sure the outfielders, though, happy to get a break from the sun.
Oh, you're not kidding.
You see typically in every game 1 or 2 outfielders lose the ball in the sun.
Yesterday in Maryvale. 1 away, and here's Alex Gordon, the leadoff batter. Strike on the outside corner, 0-1, especially for a center fielder. We saw Saunders lose the ball in the sun, but it wasn't his fault because, as you mentioned, he had to run back, then turn his back, try to find the ball, and good luck with that one when it's in the sun and stays there. Big breaking ball, one hopper hit to Smoke at first, and Gordon is out number 2. So Millwood is starting to find his groove, Mike.
He is, and early in the game his fastball was up in the zone. So a couple of batters able to get out of it with a double play, but he has to work down in the zone and starting to get his breaking ball over. That's an advantage. So sinking his fastball a little bit more. Sometimes you feel so good you come out and fastball's a little bit elevated and straight. For him, he needs more of the 2-seamer, cut it a little bit, and then throw the good curveball in there.
Adrenaline's going. Here is Chris Getz on the outside corner for a strike. Kansas City last year 71-91, 4th place in the American League Central, 24 games out. Hot shot foul, first base side, and the count is 0-2. That was their 16th losing season over the last 17 years. So GM Dayton Moore trying to turn things around with the young players. A couple guys talking things over up there. Watching baseball under the lights for the first time for the Mariners during the Cactus League season this year. Back at you tomorrow night against the San Francisco Giants. Up and away, 1-2. We're going to see a little Erasmo Ramirez get the start tomorrow night, and I tell you, he was very, very impressive on Saturday night when he got the start, Mike, against the Arizona Diamondbacks. He went 3 scoreless innings.
Another one of the young pitchers trying to make this club work his way into the rotation.
Right at Brennan Ryan. And he gets for out number 3. So we go to the bottom of the 3rd here in Peoria under the lights. Mariners nothing, the Royals nothing.
that was doing that.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. I thought you were pretty awesome as well. Felix Hernandez, pretty impressed with the music video that we put together. One of just 2 guys not scheduled to play that is actually here. So what do you get out of watching these games, and what do you hope to pick up on?
I don't know. What can I say right here? Actually, I don't know. Looking at the hitters, what they like to hit, and just what pitch the pitch throwing, and I think that's all.
I spoke with Jason Vargas after he threw 6 1/3 innings today. He said this is the earliest in March that he has thrown 94 pitches. Do you feel yourself, because of this series in Japan, stretching yourself out earlier?
No, not at all, because I was getting ready in Seattle when I was in Seattle. And physical, I feel pretty fine, and just getting ready for Japan.
Okay, now Jason said he's going to have one more start, and that's it. Then he's going to throw a simulated game before he throws in Japan. Have they talked to you about what you're going to do?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have Friday, 5 innings, 6 innings, and then one more day before we leave. And then after that, just like 2 bullpens and the opening day in Japan. All
right, Felix, good luck. Have fun. Let's send it back upstairs. And by the way, about Jason Vargas, through 94 pitches, said he worked it in his changeup a lot more. And usually maybe he wouldn't have gone to that changeup as much, but he really wanted to work a few things out. Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Angie, thank you very much. Yeah, Jason earlier today pitched in a minor league game and looked very sharp and got his pitch count up there. So everything ramped up before we head to Japan. A leadoff walk to Vinny Cacciacala to start things off here in the bottom of the 3rd. No score in this ball game. And here's Brendan Ryan.
Typically the starters, they like to get them around 100 pitches by the time they're getting out here. So Jason throwing 94. He looks like he's in good shape and ready to go.
As a matter of fact, I was watching that game this morning in the 6th inning. He got the first 3 guys right away, and they said, no, stay out there. Pitch to one more guy to get his pitches up there. Pitch count.
And you can do that. Yeah. Down there pitching in the minor league games.
Already at 94 for Jason.
Hitters will do that. They'll go down there and lead off every inning.
Remember Edgar used
to do that all the time, just to try to get at bats and figure some things out.
Up and in on Brendan. Ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Ryan last year hit .248, 3 home runs, 39 runs batted in. And Mike, I thought he played Gold Glove defense at shortstop.
I thought he did too, and he brings a lot of energy to the ball club. And so this year, like a number of the guys, you'd like to see him stay healthy is the biggest thing for him. He can pick it.
Up and in, has to hit the deck. Ball 2, 2-1 from Aaron Crow.
Crow, who's had great command coming into this inning, walks the first batter, and then chin music from Brendan Ryan. Fortunately able to get out. You can see the running fastball coming in on him.
Does the limbo. Ball's on his back. Ryan had the neck issues right at the end of the season. Lost some playing time. Ball 3. Mariners 9-3 for the spring. On deck, leadoff batter Dustin Ackley. The third up of the ball is Bencourt. Second, 1, and that's all they're going to get. High throw that Getz had to go up and get. And Vinny Cacciacala is forced out at second base. 1 on and 1 away.
Bencourt, career shortstop. You can see him make the decision to come get it. Fortunate in between up to actually catch it cleanly, but then the high throw. Gets able to get back to the bag in time. Footwork a little bit different for him than what he's used to. He'll figure it out.
1 on and 1 away for Dustin Ackley. You were in college. You played shortstop. When did you make the move to third base?
My second year of pro ball.
Well hit left center field, but getting back in time is Kane. Brendan Ryan way around the bag at second. The throw cut off, relay to first, and the ball is bobbled by Hosmer, and Brendan Ryan gets a break. Lorenzo Kane making the catch out there in the gap for the second out of the inning.
Nothing else to say other than Brendan Ryan forgot how many outs there were, Rick. Maybe still thinking about is that bad. Was in a good hitter's count. Hit the ground ball to third, but you see Kane makes the catch. Brendan's all the way around second base, has to retreat. Fortunate for him, Escobar throws it in the dirt, and Hosmer not able to make the pick. So Brendan will get back. See how far around second base. Had to go back and re-tag second to get back to first, and Hosmer, they would have had him by 10 feet. Fortunately, the ball was thrown in the dirt.
A break for Brendan, and here is Casper Wells. Ball one, the pitch is low. Casper is 0 for 1, has grounded out to Betancourt at third. Ball two. Mariners 3 days ago made 15 cuts. Eric Wedge and pitching coach Carl Willis, GM Jack Zarensic making some big decisions along the way. Not only, sending guys down to the minor league camp, Mike, but also, where they're going to wind up this year. A ball, double A, triple A. Check swing fouled away. And it is 2-1 the count on Wells.
It's one of the difficult things as a young player. Some of the guys that were in camp maybe were in double A and have to go back. Maybe they feel like they should be playing in triple A, but you have other bodies down there, and the main thing is to get them all playing time. So it can be difficult, especially when you get into an organization where you have a lot of talent and it's deep. It's tough to move up.
Over to first base, and Ryan gets back to the bag. .167 players showed up the other day in the minor league camp. To short, Escobar over to second, and that will force Ryan, and that will end the inning. Casper Wells, a fielder's choice to retire the side, and after 3 innings of play, no score.
Down in Peoria, hungry for some runs, still scoreless as we move to the top of the fourth between the Mariners and the Royals. And what would a spring training game be without the Northwest Ford Sports Desk? It just can't happen. Brad Adam with you. Some news and notes from around the major leagues today. Texas Rangers outfielder Josh Hamilton jammed his right heel in the second inning of today's game against the Rockies, listed day-to-day. Tampa Bay Rays outfielders Desmond Jennings, B.J. Upton carted off after colliding in left center field against the Miami Marlins today. The team said they were taken out for precautionary reasons with general soreness. Ryan Howard been cleared to do some light exercises in a walking boot more than 2 weeks after he needed a procedure to remove an infection around his surgically repaired left Achilles tendon. These guys all hurt, but 2 guys in great shape. It's Rick and Mike back in Peoria.
Hey, thanks, Brad. Yeah, we go to the top half of the fourth inning. My partner here is in great shape. Mike Blowers worked out a lot during the offseason. You look good, buddy.
Oh, really?
Well, you look great.
It's good to be down here, though.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Sunshine, watching the guys get ready. Eric Hosmer leading things off. There's no score here in the fourth inning. Ball 2 the count. Osborne, the 19 home runs last year. Man, this guy is just getting started, Mike.
It's an impressive young hitter, and when you think that he started the year in AAA and put up the numbers that we just showed you, that really impressive, and I'm curious to see what he can do this year with 550 at bats.
Left-handed hitter with a whole lot of power. Back up the middle, right past Millwood into center field. Hosmer with a leadoff single, and the Royals have their first hit tonight off of Kevin Millwood. All right, talking about impressive numbers by a minor leaguer. Time now for Banner Bank building to the future. How about little left-hander Erasmo Ramirez in these numbers? 4 years down in the minor leagues, Mike, a 35-14 record. ERA just over 3. Look at that, 67 walks.
To 359 strikeouts. It's a great ratio. You won't see many better than that.
And he gets the start tomorrow night on Root Sports when the Mariners take on the Giants. Ground ball to third. Catcher Callis second. Relay to first by Ackley. Double play. Jeff Francoeur hits into the around the horn 5-4-3 double play. They get Hosmer at second and double up Francoeur at first. 2 outs.
Another routine ground ball. Kevin Millwood. A couple of double play balls for him so far in the game. Easy turn for Ackley.
Dustin getting off that bag, getting off the good throw to Justin Smoke. So 2 away. And that's the second time that Kevin Millwood, Mike, has gotten Francoeur to bounce into a double play.
Again, as he settles down, you can see his fastball, his two-seam fastball, getting a little more sink to it, trying to keep the ball on the ground. That's where he's going to have success.
Mitch Meyer with a strike, 0-1. Last season at .232, 7 runs batted in. Walked in the second. 0-2. Millwood on the mark. Kevin Millwood has that gravelly country western sounding voice. He's got the great voice. Curve outside, ball 1, 2. He told me the other day, a few weeks ago, he's in a restaurant having breakfast, talking to the waitress, and she looked at him. She said, "Are you Toby Keith?" I mean, this guy, if he could sing, would be a great country star. Strike 3 called right now. He's throwing strikes. He fans Mitch Meyer. That ends the top half of the 4th inning. We go to the bottom of inning number 4. Mariners Royals, no score.
He's gonna go. Here's the throw. Got a chance. Got him.
Great shots of Ichiro as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, and he will lead things off. No score. Mariners and the Royals from the Peoria Sports Complex.
Ichiro with a base hit his first time up. Hit the ball in the gap in right center field. Solid line drive.
Takes down and in for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Can't wait to get to Japan, Mike, to see the reaction to Ichiro when we get there. Back up the middle behind second. Escobar can't get a glove on it, and Ichiro has his second base hit tonight. A leadoff single here in the bottom of the fourth inning.
It will be Jordan Lang.
Yeah. Superstar back there. Rock star. He's got his fans right here in Peoria.
Well, he's able to get this two-hopper by Crow. Once it heads up the middle, I think even if Escobar is able to cut it off and keep it from going the outfield, no chance to throw Ichiro out.
So the Mariners have 2 hits off of Aaron Crow, both off the bat of Ichiro. And the batter is Justin Smoke. Fastball for a strike. Mariners got the offense going late in the game yesterday over in Maryville. It was a 2-2 tie, and the Mariners erupted for 5 runs in the top half of the 9th inning. Came away with a 7-4 win. Over to first, get Ichiro back to the bag.
Mariners 9-3-1, and yes, they can have ties down here in spring training, but 9 wins so far.
Yeah, a couple of days ago, Mariners were playing the Dodgers, and nobody warming up the bullpen. 9th inning, 5-5 tie. After the last out was made in the bottom of the 9th inning, Don Mattingly, the manager for the Dodgers, walked out of the dugout, waved goodbye to the umpire, said, "Well, we're going home." And that was the ball game.
Yep.
But that happens. You run out of pitching, you're done.
Well, they have a certain amount of guys scheduled to pitch a certain amount of innings, and once they're finished, the game is over.
That's it. Outside, ball 2, 2-1. Happened in the Major League All-Star game. What was it, back in 2002 in Milwaukee? The All-Star game this year, as you take a look at the skipper, Eric Wedge, alongside pitching coach Carl Willis, will be at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. Check swing strike, 2-2. It's going to be their first hosting of the Midsummer Classic since 1973 when they moved into Kauffman Stadium. It was renovated just a few years ago. There's a guy that played so many great games at that ballpark, George Brett. Ball 3. Mike, what was it like playing against Mr. Brett?
For me, it was awesome. He was one of the best, and obviously with myself playing the majority of my time at third base, he's as good as it gets over there, and getting a chance to play against him and listen to him talk, and he's something.
Right it goes. Fouled away on the first base side. Ichiro take it off as Smoke fouls one away in the count.
And I think for all the talents that he had, and a great hitter and obviously defender, turned himself into a really good defensive third baseman. I just like the way he played the game. Played the game hard. All the time.
Always got his uniform dirty. I liked his stance at the plate. He had that weight back. Over to first base.
Charlie Lau, right?
Charlie Lau was his hitting instructor and guru. And man, he took it to heart and took it to the Hall of Fame. There was Ichiro. Up and away, ball 4. So Smoke with a walk, and that's the second walk given up by Aaron Crow. Now the Mariners have runners at first and second with nobody out for Carlos Peguero. Time is called. Manager Ned Yost going out to the mound, and that is going to be it for Crow. So we're going to have a pitching change here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Crow will go 3+ innings. No score. Stay with us. Pitching change coming up for Kansas City. We'll be back after this timeout. This evening here in Peoria, Arizona. What a day here in the desert. It's the Mariners giveaway you won't shake your head at, but it's bound to shake its head back at you. Friday, April 20th is Ichiro Bobblehead Night, presented by Root Sports. Be one of the first 20,000 fans to pick up this year's collectible Ichiro Bobblehead when you grab tickets at Mariners.com. And there's Ichiro on at second base, talking things over with Yudieski Betancourt and Alcides Escobar. No score, and Brendan Ryan leaving the ball game, Mike, with trainer Rick Griffin. That's not a good sign.
No, it's not, but hopefully it's just something that precautionary more than anything. When he was almost doubled off at first base after he hit the bag, I noticed that he bent down a little bit and was moving his knee around. So hopefully it's just something where maybe strained a little something. They're getting him out of there just to be careful.
Mariners with a couple of injuries here in the early part of the spring. Franklin Gutierrez and Adam Moore. So the new pitcher is Doug Sisk. The left-hander takes over from Aaron Crow, the starter, who went 3+ innings. There's a look at the base runners. That is Brandon Sisk. Brandon Sisk is the pitcher. Carlos Piguero. 0 for 1 is bounced out. Ball 1.
Had a chance to see Piguero in a couple of games now. And the first game I was impressed. He stayed nice and short with his swing, Rick, trying to close up that hole that he has inside. And then yesterday I felt like he was a little bit longer again, and it's something that I know Eric Wedge wanted to talk to him about. See how he does in this at bat against the left-hander.
Good sign right there, laying off that pitch. It was down and away, and now he's on in front of the count at 2 balls and no strikes.
Well, this is when he gets tested as a young hitter. You get into this count, you really want to turn loose, especially somebody that has the power that Carlos has. See if he can keep it nice and short, hang out a line drive somewhere. Should get a good fastball to hit.
And takes a strike, and the count is 2-1. Eric was talking about Carlos the other day. He said, Mike, he is so strong, he just has to touch the ball and it goes a long way.
Well, and that's the reason why he can afford to shorten up his swing. He can hit it 500 feet, but you don't need to.
450, plenty good line drive, left field, drops in, base hit. Ichiro will be stopped at third. The throw in by Alex Gordon to the plate is cut off by Betancourt, and now the Mariners have the bases loaded with nobody out.
And that is exactly what Eric Wedge was talking about. Nice short swing from Piguero. Take a look at it. Gets a fastball away from him. No stride. Not trying to do too much with it. And it's a solid line drive into left field. It's a quality at bat for Carlos. Eric will be happy to see that.
Mike, that's a great sign right there. He had 158 plate appearances last year. Only 2 singles to left field. He already has 2 this week. Here's Miguel Olivo with the table set, swinging a foul back and out of play, and it's 0-1 on Miggy. Here's where the Mariners have really come through the spring, Mike, in a situation where you need to get that runner home from third base, put the ball in play, get it up in the air, drive in a run.
I think he just looked like Olivo let the ball travel a little bit. The first pitch was a breaking ball in on his hands, and I think that's a good idea. Pitcher, of course, is trying to hit it, have him hit it on the ground, see if he can get a double play ball to help himself out.
Sisk out of Palestine, Texas. Runners at every base. Inside, 2-1 on Olivo. Miguel with a 3-run home run the other day, his first home run of the spring. He had 19 last year to lead the ball club. Also led the team in runs batted in with 62. Chance to do some damage, and he will. Left center field, caught by Kane. Ichiro will be able to tag and score from third, and the Mariners have a 1-0 lead. Kane already shaded that way. Miggy hit it hard, and Ichiro had plenty of time to tag and score.
Solid line drive, pitch up in the zone. So Olivo does his job, staying out of the double play and driving in the run.
So the Mariners with the first run of the night. Smoke still on at second. Peguero at first base with one out. And here's Michael Saunders. Michael had a good day at the plate yesterday against the Brewers with a couple of doubles. Strike on the outside corner on one. One of the more impressive hits he had yesterday, Mike, was a double the other way against Francisco Rodriguez.
Well, Rodriguez pitching in the game, and it's another thing that we've seen from Michael is take a look at his approach at the plate. Is he's hitting the ball with authority the other way. I've seen him hit a couple of doubles now out in the left center field.
Oh, into the count, off speed pitch from Brandon Sisk. Peguero on at first base. Justin Smoke down the way at second with one run in here in the bottom of the fourth. Ball one, 1-2. Saunders last year hit only 149. A couple of home runs, 8 runs batted in. Started the year with a ball club, and they went down to AAA Tacoma and hit 288. Worked with a hitting coach when he moved to Denver this offseason. Worked with Mike Bard, Josh's older brother. 2-2 the count on Saunders, and now working with hitting coach Chris Chambliss. It has been quite a turnaround for Michael. The guy knows something about hitting right there. Chris Chambliss. Ball 3, full count. On deck for the Mariners, Vinny Catricala. So Saunders might continues to see a lot of pitches. 3-1 count, grounded out in the second. Now he's 3-2 on Sisk here in the fourth.
And he started off behind in the count. Was able to work it back to 3-2. All the pitches have been away from him. You know, we were talking about he's hit the ball hard to left field this spring.
And he walks. Takes a pitch a little outside for ball 4. So now the Mariners have their bases reloaded. Saunders. Nice at bat. He's on at first. Peguero down at second. And Smoke is on at third. With third baseman Vinny Catricala. Vinny walked in the third. The spring batting .316 with a couple of home runs. The run here in the fourth, charge there in Crow. The starter in the dirt. Ball 1. Good stop by the catcher Pena. And time is called as Brian goes out to have a talk with Sisk. And Mike, the Royals got some bad news earlier today. They found out that their talented young catcher Salvador Perez is going to be out for a few weeks. He's going to have surgery on his knee.
Meniscus problem. That really hurts the Royals. Pena has experience. Brian Pena, the young man catching tonight. So at least they have a backup with experience, but there's not much left after that. So they need him to stay healthy.
1-0 the count on Vinny. Line drive, left field line. This one is going to be out. Foul ball. Just foul down the left field side. Third base umpire Angel Campos calling it foul, and it was mighty, mighty close.
Hooking line drive down the left field line. Look how close it is. Oh, really hit right on the edge of the grass. Just foul.
Bases loaded, one away, 1 run in. Smoke on at third. Peguero at second. Saunders at first. Sisk taking some time out there in the mound for the Royals. And the 1-1. Strike 2 called. Mariners had some good at bats in that win over the Brewers yesterday, including 2 sacrifice flies in that game and 2 sacrifice bunts. So key hits along the way. Also other good swings. Sacrifice fly here in the fourth. Fly ball down the right field line. On the run, Mitch Meyer can't get to it. It's going to drop in. A base hit. Catricala with a single the other way. Smoke scoring easily. Peguero is on at third base. Saunders down at second, and Vinny Catricala on at first. Still only one out.
Well, after lining it down the left field line, this pitch actually jams him, hits it off the label, just flares it into right field. That's a base hit and an RBI for Vinny.
2-0 Mariner lead. The throw back to Hosmer at first base as Vinny had to skip a little rope to get back safely. Look at the base runners. Peguero, Saunders, and Catricala. And we have Gabriel Noriega to bat for Brendan Ryan. Ryan had to leave the ball game with an injury. We don't know exactly the extent of the injury. So here is Noriega. Gabriel Noriega, one of the minor league kids. They get a chance to play tonight. Both runs charged to Aaron Crow. Fly ball into right field. Meyer coming up shallow, makes the catch. Peguero will have to hold. The throw to the plate is cut off by Hosmer. So Noriega flies out, and there's 2 outs. Mike, here's a look at Brendan Ryan running the bases back in the bottom half of the third.
Yeah, ball out in the outfield. He'll round second base. Realizes he has to get back. That quick turn. Looked like he's okay there, and then he has to bust it to get back to keep from getting doubled off. And right away you can see him limp a little bit. I can't tell if it's an ankle or a knee.
Thought he reached out with his left hand on his left quad.
Hopefully he's okay, and as soon as we get a report on that, we'll let you know what happened to Brendan.
Base is still loaded now with 2 down for Dustin Ackley, and a strike is called. 0-1. One of the keys every spring, Mike, for every ball club, get out of the spring healthy.
That's what every ball club wants to do, and it's the reason why they take guys out of games early and give them days off and still try to get them ready and sharp for opening day.
Ackley is 0 for 2 tonight. Struck out back in the first. He's flied out to Lorenzo Cain in center field. 2-0 Mariners. Up and in, ball 2. Peguero, Saunders, and Catricala. Ackley trying to keep it going. Sisk taking a little bit of time. In the air to left center field and deep, going back. Alex scored near the warning track, and he's there and makes the catch to end the inning. Well, the Mariners get on the board here in the 4th inning with a couple. We go to the 5th. Mariners 2, Kansas City 0.
welcome back to Peoria. The Mariners on top right now, 2-0. I have tracked down the Mariners closer, Brandon League. And Brandon, that's the interesting thing about this spring, because you were actually going into the spring, not this season, but actually going into the spring as the Mariners closer. How is that different this year?
I'm not really preparing anything different. Just the difference is just knowing. Last year it was a toss-up between myself and Chris Ray, and I was fortunate enough that the Mariners and Wedge, decided to go with me. And this spring I'm going about my business the same way. And first off, just looking forward to Japan.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Japan before?
No, I've never been.
All right. Now, is Ichiro and the guys saying that they're going to take you around and show you around the joint?
Yeah, no promises have been made, but I'm definitely looking forward to experiencing it and also playing ball there.
I know you're a pitcher and your job is to get guys out, but at the same time, I've heard you say that you're pretty impressed with what the offense is doing this spring.
Oh, the offense is looking great. Guys are not so young anymore. They're not rookies like they were last year, and their offense is coming together, looking great.
All right, now Sean Kelly just jumped in front of us because he had to get over there. 4 innings so far for you. You've allowed just 4 hits. Opponents batting .267. You have anything that you still need to work on this spring, or you're in midseason form already?
That's pretty quick on getting those stats out. I'm still working on some stuff. Definitely working on my slider a lot more this spring. And just, kind of trying to compile innings before we leave next week.
All right, the blur again was Sean Kelly. We're totally calling him out. 37 saves last season. Are you setting goals as far as saves? How do you go into this season and set priorities for yourself?
I don't really try and set goals like numbers because that's kind of stuff you don't really have control over. It depends on the games and situations, but I definitely have expectations of myself. Now with the full year of being the 9th inning guy under my belt, and had time to reflect on last year. I made some adjustments, and looking forward. Can't wait till the season starts.
All right, thanks so much. I really appreciate it, Brandon. We're going to get back to Rick and Unieski Betancourt's battle at the plate. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Angie, thank you very much. 3-2 count on Betancourt from new pitcher Steve Delabar, who was one of the great stories in baseball last year. Fastball is up for ball 4. So Uni with a leadoff walk. Here in the top of the 5th inning, the Mariners leading the Royals by a score of 2-0. Mike, 1 year ago at this time, Steve Delabar is teaching, middle school. And at the end of the baseball season, he finds himself in the big leagues.
It's a great story, and he has a plus fastball. His fastball will be in the low to mid 90s. And you wonder sometimes that he just felt like one day he was working with these kids and decided to jump in there, and all of a sudden the velocity was back for him, jumped up even for him, and decided to give it another shot, and ended up in the big leagues last year. And here he is in big league camp trying to earn a spot out into the bullpen.
He now faces center fielder Lorenzo Cain, and this all the while a few years before. I mean, he had a serious elbow problem. His right elbow looks like a Home Depot project. There's a plate in his elbow to keep everything together with 9 screws. On a hop out to Ackley, over to second. 1 relay to first to Liddy, and it's in time, double play. Now that's a new second baseman out there for the Mariners. Stefan Romero over to Noriega, on to Liddy, so a 4-6-3 double play and 2 outs.
Looks like Delabar gets a piece of this, deflects it over. Nice turn. A couple of the youngsters up the middle now.
Noriega at shortstop, Romero at second base. Spring training game, 91-92. Ground ball hits the bag at third off the bat of Brian Pena. And down the left field line it goes. Pena heading for second. Pena's throw, and it's going to be in plenty of time to get Pena. What a throw by Carlos Peguero. Pena's trying to stretch the single into a double, but he's out at second base, and what a peg to second by Peguero as Romero waits to apply the tag. That's it for Kansas City. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning, 2-0 Mariners lead. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by CenturyLink. Consistently fast speeds and honest personal service. Find out more at CenturyLink.com. And by BECU. We are BECU. Join us. That looks good right there. Some of the fans enjoying the fair here at the Peoria Sports Complex as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Mariners with a 2-0 lead over the Royals, and burly right-hander Jonathan Broxton takes over in relief. The ex-Dodger swinging a foul off the bat of Casper Wells off the mask of the catcher Brian Pena. Broxton with L.A. last year, appearing in only 14 games, 1-2 record, 7 saves, and 8 opportunities in a high ERA. Oh, 1-2 on Wells.
It looks like he still has the good fastball. That last fastball, 94 miles an hour.
Broxton will be setting up Joaquim Soria, all-star closer with the Royals. And a swing and a miss. And a 96-mile-an-hour fastball for strike 3, and there's one away. Well, the Mariners might give in the bottom of the 5th inning. Yep, the heater's still there.
It's a big man coming downhill at you, throwing 96 miles an hour.
Some giddy up.
Tough to hit anytime, but especially mid-spring training. Difficult to catch up to that good a fastball.
Here's Ichiro, who is 2 for 2 tonight, a couple of singles, and scored one of the 2 Mariner runs in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And that fastball is on the inside corner, 0-1. So one of the big stories coming to spring training, Ichiro hitting in that number 3 spot as we talked about. He sends a ground ball wide at first, taken by Hosmer, and he leads Broxton to the bag with a good throw. Just in time to get Ichiro for the second out of the inning.
That was a great play by Hosmer. Young first baseman has to range to his right. Makes a pick. Broxton doing his job and getting over there in plenty of time, but a difficult throw when you're going away from the bag, having to spin and throw back to hit a moving target, and the pitcher gave him a great feed.
Broxton getting over in time. So 2 up, 2 down. 2-0 Mariners lead. That'll bring up new first baseman Alex Liddy. Liddy had a big hit yesterday in the 7-4 win over in Maryville against the Brewers. And he's having a good spring, batting .375. The San Remo Smasher. Alex Liddy from San Remo, Italy. First Italian-bred, born, developed player out of Italy to play in the big leagues last year. And big numbers down at AAA Tacoma with 30 home runs and 104 runs batted in. And Mike, he kept hitting 3 home runs in the big leagues last year and played good defense at third.
Well, you can see that he has size, 6'4", 230 pounds. Strong kid. Doesn't have to get all of it to hit it out of the ballpark. 15 games for him late last year.
One of the 18 rookies and one of the 12 who made their major league debuts. In the dirt. Ball 1, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
At this point in spring training, probably wondering where he fits in all of this.
Yeah.
A lot of things going on, and Eric Wedge having to make a lot of decisions. Alex in the middle of it.
Like it seems like he's playing more first base than third base, but that's a good thing when you have more options like that.
Give the manager some options. He's been a third baseman, but show him that you can do some other things and maybe open up a door for yourself. Be willing to do that.
And a swing and a miss. Fastball up and in for strike 3, and that'll end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. After 5, Mariners 2, Kansas City 0. We're back with you tomorrow night for more Cactus League baseball as the Mariners take on the San Francisco Giants. Live coverage right here from the Peoria Sports Complex gets underway at 7 p.m. here on Root Sports. Part of the crowd up there in the berm here at the Peoria Sports Complex. Mariners in Kansas City. We go to the top half of the 6th inning. Mariners leading the Royals by a score of 2-0. Alcides Escobar leading things off against Steve Delabar. Fly ball center field. Backing up. Michael Saunders near the warning track, and he puts it away, and there's one down. Good pitching tonight by Kevin Millwood, the starter. 4 strong innings, no runs. Gave up only 1 hit. Walked 3 guys, 2 in the first inning, but then he found his groove.
I thought it was an interesting outing for him, and it goes to show you what a veteran pitcher can do. Early in the game, the first couple of innings, I didn't think he was sharp. Rick had the ball up in the zone, walked a couple of batters, something he hadn't done this spring. But he was able to get it back together, comes up with a couple of double play balls and works through it. And then the last couple innings, fairly easy for him. So I think overall, a good outing for Kevin Millwood.
Second start, third appearance of the spring. Here is Alex Gordon. He takes a strike from Delabar.
So many times you see it with the young pitchers when they struggle early, they have a tough time trying to figure things out, and that struggle continues. Watch another veteran like Millwood is able to work his way through it, figure things out, and then settle down and get the ball back on the ground the way he wants it to and give himself a chance.
And there's that 15, 16 years of major league experience kicking in.
Well, exactly, and I think that's why it's important as you look at this club and the youth of it. It's good to have guys like that, especially guys that are so good in the clubhouse and make themselves available to the younger players.
Up and away on Gordon. Ball 1, 1 and 2 strikes. A guy that you knew very well, Jamie Moyer. Jamie always said, when you're in trouble, a lot of times you got to remind yourself, and it's tough at times, that you're just 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning.
But again, that comes from experience.
Yeah.
You know, it's no different than the offensive guys when you have runners in scoring position. A young hitter is going to be aggressive early, trying to do everything and get it done. Where a guy that's been around and established, he knows the pitcher is the one in trouble, and he's going to wait him out and get a good pitch to hit. Just comes with experience, and the only way you get that, Rick, is to run out there in between the lines and fail a lot.
Yeah. Get out there and play. 3-2 the count on Gordon. Line to the right field, a base hit. He's on at first base with 1 out here in the top half of the 6th. Well, it's time to be taken out to the ball game in style. A wide range of Mariners premium seating is available for all games this year, including Diamond Club seats behind home plate and 20-person private suites, perfect for hosting a party at the ballpark. For more information on premium seating options at Safeco Field, visit mariners.com/premium. And that young lady has a premium seat tonight on the lap of Mama, along with Dad off to her right. Welcome to Peoria. Low and off the glove of the catch of Miguel Olivo, and down to second goes Alex Gordon on a pass ball. So 1-0 the count on Chris Getz. Delabar, good fastball. His velocity, as you mentioned, Mike, is up there 94 to 95 miles an hour. Also has a real good splitter. It's his 2 best pitches. Gets 0 for 1, has walked, has grounded out to short. 1-1. Delabar's story could be made into a movie, but then thinking about that, Mike, it already has been when you're talking about the Jim Morris story, who actually played minor league baseball and didn't make it, and then he was back home in, what was it, Big Lake, Texas, teaching school.
Coaching the baseball team there.
And he made a bet. Great movie called The Rookie, starring Dennis Quaid. He made a bet with his team, and he said, if you guys win the regionals, I'll go for a tryout. And sure enough, his high school team won. So he had to hold up his end of the bet. He went to the tryout. He was throwing 90+ miles an hour. He was signed by a Tampa Bay scout.
Left-hander.
That always helps.
That helps.
And then made his major league debut at the ballpark in Arlington for Tampa Bay against the Rangers. Great movie.
I think for Delabar, pitching out of the bullpen, picking up an inning or 2. You mentioned the 2 pitches for him. That's basically what he needs with the type of fastball that he has. He won't have to work his way through the lineup a couple of times. Guys are going to get a chance to see him just once. It's a good pitch. Just missed the inside corner at 94 miles an hour. Had him set up for that pitch. I don't think Getz would have been able to do anything with it if it had hit the corner.
I asked him a few weeks ago, did you go back to school and teach? He said no, but I did help out the baseball team. 2-2. Broken ball.
Nice
Ground ball back to the mound, taken by Delabar. He'll get Getz at first base, and on the play, Gordon will get to third. Steve was able to knock it down and get the second out.
I think that was a smart play on his part. He knocks it down, doesn't field it cleanly. He turns around, he sees Gordon running, probably has a chance to get him, but with one out, make sure he gets an out. He wasn't sure if the third baseman was going to get there in time, and so he decided to turn around and get the out. So many times you see young pitchers panic because they know that they have the runner dead to rights and throw it anyways, and then you have a big inning, a lot of problems, and he was able to get the out.
Eric Hosmer takes high and outside for ball one. Jeff Francoeur is due up next. We saw a bad decision of the game yesterday by the Milwaukee Brewers trying to get a force at third base on a sacrifice bunt. The throw was late, and that led to a big 5-run inning. 2-0 the count on Hosmer, who walked in the first and singled to center field back in the fourth inning. 2-0 Mariners lead. Tying run of the plate in Hosmer for Kansas City. And it's 2-1. Delabar, 28 years of age. The other great part of that story last year, he was a rookie at the age of 27. Born in Fort Knox, Kentucky. Popped up down the line, foul. Catricano going back near the seats, and this one is out of play. And the count is even on Hosmer at 2-2. I understand they have a pretty good gold reserve at Fort Knox, huh?
Been there?
Nope. One and 2 outs. The 2-2 fouled away by Hosmer.
Another good fastball, 95 miles an hour.
Mariners will come and carry 7 guys in the bullpen working back. It's Brandon League, Tom Wilhelmsen last year. Swing and a miss and a splitter. Strike 3. Delabar fans Eric Hosmer. That'll end the inning. What a pitch. No runs, a hit. Runner stranded at third. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Mariners 2, Kansas City nothing. Look at that.
Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Snoqualmie Casino, Seattle's premier entertainment, gaming, and dining destination, and by Sterling Bank. Life is about the good stuff, and your bank should be too. Visit our new website at bankwithsterling.com. Alex Liddy is now in the game, and Justin Smoke is standing next to me. Mariners lead it right now 2-0. And Justin, when you stop giggling, I'm going to start asking you questions.
Pretty good at that.
Thanks. He thought the billboards were very funny. When you went into this offseason, you were part of that group that Eric Wedge brought in, not just to Seattle, but to his house as well. What did he tell you in that meeting that he wanted from you this season, he wanted to see you do?
I think it was more of just getting the guys together and, just kind of seeing, who was working out, who wasn't, and stuff like that. But, it was all about just, getting, doing a couple workouts and, getting together and seeing everybody and, kind of looking forward to this year.
Yeah, and performing at that higher level, once you completed all those things, you have. I mean, everybody's talking about what great shape you are in. So what is it that you did differently this offseason?
Worked out 4 days a week, 2 hours a day, and the big thing was eating right, and which is it's just hard to do back home, but it's something I had to do, and cut out the bread and the pastas, and stuck with the meat and vegetables.
How did that go over with the wife?
She loves it because she's all about eating right, but when you go to mama's house and you got good down south country cooking, it's a little different, but it was good, and something makes you feel better, and makes you know that you're doing something for your body.
All right, but what's the one thing that mom makes that you just can't resist?
Oh man, mashed potatoes and gravy. That's the best, and something we had it a couple times, but that was only a couple times, thank God.
Yeah, you know what? You could put gravy on your shoe, and I'd probably eat it. Justin, thank you very much. We're going to see the commercials rolled out here on our air tomorrow night. You had a prominent role in this year's commercial. What did you think about your acting debut?
It was good. I got to do a little bit last year with Figgy and them, but this year, it was good. It was interesting, punching down a tree, and which actually happened. I actually knocked it down, but it was good, and it was fun for everybody.
All right. Actually, I watched, and you punched that tree left-handed and right-handed. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, they tried to get me to do it right-handed, and it wasn't going right. And I said, well, I'm left-handed, and so so I had to do it left-handed, and finally got better. So.
All right, Justin, thank you very much. He is left-handed, but at the same time, he is a switch hitter, so that probably would have made that entire thing capable. By the way, we are going to have a special show tomorrow, Mariners All Access at 6:30, where we are going to unveil all the commercials and give you a behind-the-scenes look at the making of those commercials. And I got a couple outtakes from you, Mr. Smoke. I got a couple. I'm not going to lie.
All right.
All right, make sure you guys tune into Root Sports to see that tomorrow. Back upstairs.
All right, Angie, thank you very much. Leadoff walk to Carlos Piguero here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Mariners leading the Royals 2-0 after that interview. Mike, I'm hungry. Talking about mashed potatoes and gravy. Can't eat. He backed away from the pasta. I couldn't do that.
You have no chance of doing that.
No way. Miguel Olivo, the hitter. And it's 0-2 on Miggy, but Justin did a great job.
You don't have to go out and play baseball. You just have to sit up here and talk about it, so you can have all the pasta you want. Feel good about it.
Oh, good. Okay. Oh, good. I can go get some spaghetti later on tonight. I missed dinner. Miggy 0 for 1, struck out in the 2nd, but drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in the 4th inning. I like the fact, Mike, that Eric Wedge got 10 guys to come up to Seattle, took them to their home, sat down, had some dinner, talked a lot of baseball, but he also talked about his expectations for them, that they're going to be playing key roles on the ball club. I don't know if many managers who have done that before, and I like that.
I like the fact that he followed up with what he had talked to them about right when the season was over. After that last game, he was calling guys, and well, really the last week, calling guys into his office and what his expectations of them were going to be. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you get a phone call midwinter. Why don't you come on over and let's take a look at you, see what you're doing.
Makes him accountable.
Makes him accountable.
What did you do from the time I told you at the end of the year till now? Whoa, I better hit the gym in a hurry.
and with Justin Smoke, it really does show. He was a young kid, and you can tell he put a lot of work in this winter, so hopefully that'll pay off for him on the field.
Yeah, Justin in great shape. And that was the frustrating thing about the injury to Franklin Gutierrez, Mike, is that he was in fabulous shape. He battled the stomach issues the last year and a half. He got that behind him. On a play on the right field side by Oliva. The count is still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Worked so hard to get ready for this spring and be a part of everything, and then ended up with a partial tear of the pec muscle. And has to sit down for 4 weeks.
And when you look at the club, he's so important to this pitching staff with what he can do in center field and the amount of ground that he covers, and he takes away a lot of base hits, so they need him back healthy.
Runner goes, and a throw down to second. Not in time. A stolen base for Carlos Peguero. 3-2 the count on Olivo.
I'm not so sure that he didn't realize what the count was. I think maybe he thought it was 3-2. He looks like he starts to break it down, and then the last second he slides awkwardly. I think he thought it was a 3-2 count and ran on the pitch. Worked out for him.
Clark, the new catcher, the high throw down to second base. Full count on Miguel Olivo. A lot of changes for Kansas City. The new pitcher, Felipe Paulino, 28 years of age. Out of play on the first base side, of the count is still 3-2.
And Paulino throwing hard. That last fastball at 96 miles an hour.
Closed a few games last year, but with Kansas City 4-6 record and a 4.11 ERA, 21 games, 20 starts. Averaged 8.5 strikeouts every 9 innings. Fastball up to around 95. Outside, ball 4. So back-to-back walks served up by Paulino. Olivo is out at first base. The Mariners have runners at first and second, nobody out.
And a great opportunity for Michael Saunders. Having a great spring coming into the game. Hitting .409 for the spring. See if he can catch up to a good fastball.
Michael 0 for 1 on the night, has bounced out to short, and he has walked. Talking about putting in a lot of hard work during the offseason. This guy got it done, and he was ready for this opportunity this spring. Line drive into left center field. On the run, Dyson. This one is going to be up against the wall and a hop. Peguero with Olivo right on his heels. They're both going to try to score. Relay home, not in time. Peguero and Olivo scoring. Miggy was a half step behind Carlos Peguero. Michael Saunders with a 2-run double. And it's now the Mariners 4, Kansas City nothing. What a swing by Saunders.
This is what we've talked about, Rick. Aggressive, gets a fastball. 95 miles an hour, and again going to left center field. Hits it off the middle of the fence. Olivo with a great read right on the heels of Peguero. Peguero, the young man, Olivo, give him a little bit of business after he scores. Having some fun, but Michael Saunders, what a spring training he is having.
Incredible spring for the young man from Victoria, British Columbia. RBI 6 and 7 on the spring. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 runs are in. Man, he is hitting the ball hard. Here is Vinny Catricala. Drove in a run with a single down the right field line, and he has walked. Look at the runners take off, Mike.
Peguero not sure. With nobody out, wanted to make sure, and he's doing the right thing. He knows he can score easily if he gets past the outfielder, but Olivo, you can see him running hard. Having a lot of fun.
How about if you're Jeff Dance coaching at third base?
You have no choice but to send him at that point.
Exactly. You go, you go. Fouled away on the third base side, and the count is 0-2 on Vinny. And there's the traffic cop down there. Third base coach Jeff Dance. Carlos Peguero with a smile on his face, scoring the lead run in front of Miggy. Once he gets going, Mike, man, he can fly.
He can.
Oh, man.
He's a good athlete. We already saw him cut a runner down at second base, showing the strong throwing arm that he has.
Very good spring for Carlos. Paulino with Saunders on at second base. Felipe last year was with Colorado and Kansas City. Things didn't work out in Colorado for him. He was 0-4 with a 7.36 ERA in 18 games. And Thomas Caldas Clark, the new catcher, goes out to have a talk with Felipe. But then when he went to Kansas City, 4-6 record with that 4.11 earned run average and a lot of strikeouts. Inside and off the glove of the catcher, Ramirez. Max Ramirez is the new catcher for Kansas City. All the way to the right field side.
Able to get in on his hands. Vinny checking his bat. Paulino has a good fastball, stopping out at 96 miles an hour.
Take a look at center fielder Jared Dyson, way over to right center field for Vinny, a right-handed hitter. Line drive, right field line. It's going to be a fair ball. Saunders riding third, heading home. Up with the ball is Will Myers, and throwing to second base. Vinny Cantricella with an RBI single, scoring Saunders. 3 runs are in here at the bottom of the 6th. And it's now the Mariners 5 and Kansas City nothing.
Cantricella picks up his second RBI of the game, gets a slider, stays in the middle of the plate. Inside out swing. Fair ball down the right field line.
And still nobody out. 2 walks, 2 hits. And the Mariners have 3 runs. And here is new shortstop Gabriel Noriega, replacing the injured Brendan Ryan. Bouncy ball out near second. Giovatola has it. Steps on the back for 1. The low throw to first. And Robinson can't pick it. Cantricella's out at second. Noriega safe at first base.
Tough pick. Hangs in there. Able to get his feet together again. Just makes a poor throw. That's probably a ball most first basemen will be able to pick and help him out a little bit, so the Mariners catch a break.
Chris Robinson couldn't dig it out of the dirt. Giovatello over to the bag to get that tricky hop. So 1 on, 1 away. 5-0 Mariners. And here is Stefan Romero, and he takes outside and off the glove of the catcher Ramirez, and down to second base goes Noriega on a wild pitch. Mariners now with 5 runs and 6 base hits. 2-run double by Michael Saunders and an RBI single by Vinny Cantricella here in the 6th inning. And Paulino wants to think this one over a little bit more. He's throwing a lot of pitches, Mike.
He is struggling out there. One of the things the Mariners have done, 5 walks in the game, and Eric Wedge will be happy to see that. After those walks, guys able to put some hits together to drive in some runs. That's why they have 5 runs with just 6 hits.
3 of those 5 have scored. 1-1 on Romero.
24 pitches now for Paulino in the inning.
And has only the 1 out.
Nobody up in the Royals bullpen, so they're going to make him work his way through it.
Line into right center field, a base hit. Here comes Noriega on to score. All the way to the wall it goes. Romero heading for third. The relay is in time to get Romero. The relay by the shortstop. time to the third baseman. Falou down with a tag, but give the kid Romero a double and a run batted in. Story Noriega. And it's now the Mariners 6 and Kansas City nothing.
Romero hesitated just enough after he rounded second base, where I think it cost him. It looked like it was going to be a triple. Perfect relay from the Royals. Able to get Romero, but he'll end up with a base hit and drive in a run.
Wow, almost avoided the tag.
It was a good try.
Showed him the left hand, put the right in there, tried to get it, sneak it in there. Not a bad idea. But he gets credit for the double and the run batted in. So 4 runs in here in the bottom of the 6th. Casper Wells, the hitter. Pops it up down the right field line. Foul ground. Going back, Robinson. And this one is out of play. And it's 0-2 on Casper. Looking for his first hit tonight. Here's that slide one more time by Romero, Mike.
Well, he knows he's out. He's going to be out by a good margin. So, yes, hoping he can put his hand up over the tag.
Looked like a swan dive into third base. Way to go, kid. What a throw for the minor league kids.
This is great. Kids with number 90 on their back get a chance to play into the lights.
Popped up, Robinson over, and he can't get to this one. And the count is still 0-2 on Wells. Well, what an opportunity to make an impression. And they're going back to the minor league camp tomorrow morning. But that kid right there is opening up some eyes.
I'll go to minor league camp tomorrow morning and be able to take a newspaper with them with showing, hey, look, here I am.
Good idea.
That double.
Good job, young man. Talking with Corey Snyder, who was the hitting coach at AA Jackson, the Jackson Generals. Corey Snyder played a long time in the big leagues, Mike.
Yeah. Cleveland Indians.
Popped up. Back up here to the booth and right in front of us. And the count is still 1-2 on Wells. Corey Snyder was a part of that 1984 Olympic ball club that was so good. I think everybody signed him a contract off that team. Billy Swift was on that ball club, the Mariners' first round pick that year. Strike 3 called. Wells caught looking. That'll end the inning, but the Mariners doing some damage. 4 runs here in the bottom of the 6th. We go to the 7th. It's the Mariners 6 and the Royals nothing. This season, catch the games you want from the seats you want with a Mariners Flex 16 game plan. Customize your personal plan now by picking the 16 games you want to see at mariners.com/16. Nice crowd tonight. Temperature starting to cool off. First night game of the spring, and the Mariners bats still heating up by 4 runs, 3 hits, couple of walks, bottom of the 6th inning, and now lead Kansas City 6-0 as we go to the top of the 7th inning. And we have a new pitcher, veteran left-hander Oliver Perez on the mound.
Mariners offense continues to swing the bats.
They're averaging about 7 runs a game the early part of the spring. Francoeur pop up right field. Ichiro on the run, slides, and he can't hang on. It's going to be a fair ball. Ball gets away from Ichiro, and Francoeur will get into second base.
I don't see how that's a fair ball.
Called fair by the first base umpire, and Ichiro thought it was foul.
It looked like it was foul from here. Great effort from Ichiro. Take another look at it. Diving. Oh, no, there he had it right. It's a double.
Yeah. Ticked off the edge of his glove and right on the line, and then slid across the line trying to haul it in. So give Francoeur a double. And here is Will Myers, the new right fielder. Fastball for a strike. 0-1. Big hits in that bottom of the 6th inning, Mike, after the leadoff walks to Peguero and Olivo. They scored on that double by Michael Saunders off the wall in left field.
Turned around a 95-mile-an-hour fastball and hit it hard out the left center field.
That's great to see. And he had a double the other way against Francisco Rodriguez in the win yesterday in Maryville against Milwaukee. So Saunders' incredible turnaround continues here at spring training. This is new right fielder Will Myers. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Perez fans Myers. And there's one out for the Royals here in the 7th.
Look at the strikeout from Perez. Hard slider down and in. Myers can't lay off of it. It's a good pitch to throw in an 0-2 count. Something out of the zone. Starts in there and bottom falls out of it.
And a lot of bite to it. 1 on 1 away for Irving Falou, the new third baseman. Fastball misses away. Perez last year was at Double-A Harrisburg. Here's a guy that spent a lot of time in the big leagues. He was at Double-A in the Washington Nationals organization, 3-5 record in 16 games, 15 as a starter. In the air, down the right field line, slicing foul and out of play in the corner, and the count is even on Falou. And 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, left-hander still has a good fastball. That last fastball at 92 miles an hour.
Looks like he still has a slider to go with it. Why not stick around as long as he can?
Left-handed, right? Throw strikes.
Hopefully somebody will give you an opportunity. Up and in, foul ball. Falou checking a swing, but bat foul on the ball. And the count is 1-2.
Well, you could hear it all the way up here in the booth. It's a piece of the barrel, it looks like.
New catcher Guillermo Quiroz. Jabari Blash is out in center field. Slider misses ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last couple of springs for the Mariners, a lot of opportunities. But not only the young guys, Mike, but for veterans as well. This year, Kevin Millwood and this guy right here, Perez. Runner goes. Foul ball off the glove of Liddy at first base and into right field. Here comes Francoeur on to score, and the Royals have their first run of the game. It's now the Mariners 6, Kansas City 1. Falou hit a smash to Liddy at first base.
Hits it hard, skips off the grass. Liddy going down to a knee is not able to come up with it. That's probably a play that he'd tell you he should make.
It is going to be an error charge to Liddy. And the Royals have a run. 1 on, 1 out, 1 in. And this is Jared Dyson, the new center fielder, replacing Lorenzo Cain, and he takes a strike from Perez. Manager Ned Yost of the Royals making a bunch of changes over the last couple of innings. 1-1 the count. A couple of changes on the coaching staff as well for Kansas City this year. Chino Katahia is the new bench coach for Yost. They were together in Atlanta. As a matter of fact, Katahia was the bench coach for many, many years with Bobby Cox. And now he's back with his longtime friend Ned Yost in Kansas City. Bob McClure has gone as the pitching coach. Dave Island takes over in that spot for the Royals. Oliver Perez, 30 years of age. And the 2-2. Big one hopper onto the second baseman. Romero only played at first. Liddy in time to get Dyson. And on the play, Falou gets down to second base. 6-1 Mariners lead, 2 outs. And here's the catcher, Ramirez, Max Ramirez, replacing Brian Pena. Pena was 1 for 2 on the night. Mariners have 3 night games in a row, Mike. Tonight, tomorrow against San Francisco, and also against the Oakland A's. On Friday, Felix Hernandez will get a chance to pitch on Friday, but Friday afternoon down in Tucson in a game against the Milwaukee Brewers, so won't face Oakland on Friday night. It'll pitch against Milwaukee.
I think that's a smart idea.
Yeah.
A little bit of a trip for Felix, but no need to give the A's an early look at him. You know, keep those appearances down. Although they probably have a good idea what they're going to get.
You guys will see him for the first time on March the 28th in Tokyo. 2-game series to open up the Major League season. The Mariners and the Oakland A's. 28th and 29th. Up and away. 3-0 the count on Ramirez. Looking forward to that trip. Tony Abreu due up next. But Perez looking for the final out here in the 7th inning. Strike on the inside corner, 3-1. Kansas City, pretty good hitting ball club last year, Mike. They were 4th in the American League in hitting with a team average of 275. 6th in runs scored. Line drive, center field for a base hit. Falou running third, heading home, slipping, overrunning the ball out there in center field. The new center fielder, Jabari Blash. And the Royals have another run. It's now the Mariners 6 and Kansas City 2, but give Ramirez a base hit and a run batted in.
And Ramirez gets in a good hitter's count. 3-1 pitch. Knows he's going to get a fastball. Middle of the plate, inside out swing. Hammers it back up the middle.
2 runs are in for the Royals. Ramirez on at first base. Here is Tony Abreu. His first at bat in the ball game, replacing Alcides Escobar. Up and make it a strike to the outside corner, and it's 0-1. $80 degrees today here in Peoria, Arizona. Mike, understand we had a little bit of snow back home. In the northwest, high fly ball into left center field, over Peguero and Blash. It is going to be Carlos Peguero to make the easy catch. Round number 3, Kansas City with a couple of runs. 7th inning stretch time after 6.5. Mariners leading the Royals 6-2.
Welcome back to Mariners baseball. M's on top 6-2. The guy who made it 4-0, I believe, at that point, Michael Saunders, is standing next to me. You walked, you doubled, and then Eric Wedge says, go ahead and come out of the game and go ahead and sleep on the double. That's not a bad thing to turn over in your mind over and over again. We're going to take another look at it, but give us your perspective. Tell us what it was like in the batter's box.
Well, first night game, so it was nice to get out here. You know, the ball was coming in pretty big, it seemed like. It was also coming in fairly hard, too. Okay, and, you know, I just trying to stay within myself. You know, I was just trying to be aggressive with runners on base. And, you know, I know they're going to try to get ahead of me, so just tried to stay short, compact, stay through the ball, and, you know, was able to drive it out to left.
Ichiro just had a similar swing, although it did not fall out in left field. A nice diving catch being made out there. Now, Wedge told me earlier today that you are clearly striding to hit this season. Does that sort of accurately describe you this year versus last year or in the past?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think just being aggressive. You know, I came into camp confident, and I told myself, you know, I'm just going to stay aggressive. I'm going to try to do damage when I'm up there. And, you know, I was extremely passive last year. I felt lost, and I knew something needed to change. And besides mechanically, I really worked hard in the offseason on my mental approach to the game. That was my main goal, just stay aggressive. If you're going to go down swinging like a man, and just try to do damage when you're up there.
Now, Mike and Rick were talking about that earlier in the season, or earlier in this game, rather. Mike Bard, that was the brother of Josh Bard, who was working with you in Colorado. Then we got a gapper here that is going to fall in the gap. But he was the one that sort of made everything click and gave you that kind of aha moment. That's Lydia at second base.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice double by Liddy, by the way. Right,
yeah, good. You know what? That was good. Do that again. Do that again. You're the color, and I'll be like the play-by-play.
You can work off each other right here. I like that. Okay. You know, over the last few years, you know, we've had a couple hitting coaches, but they've all tried to do the same thing with me. Is you know, being a long-levered guy, it works to my disadvantage sometimes with obviously having a long swing, and we're trying to shorten strides, stay compact, and shorten the swing, more compact pretty much. And you know, he did some things with me that just clicked. You know, sometimes you say one thing to one person and you say the same thing to somebody else, but it clicks for that one person. So I worked hard and trying to stay short and stay aggressive.
All right, listen, congratulations, Michael, on the fantastic spring that you're having. We hope to see you continue that. And as good as you were at color, I'm horrible at play-by-play. I know I'm not taking the job from Rick Riz upstairs. And you got a couple more years before you're going to be up in the booth like Mike Flowers, another guy who wore 16 once upon a time, right?
That's absolutely right. Let's see Liddy get a base hit the ball hard into the gap. But Michael Saunders, again, Ricky, I think he has been somebody that has really opened up the eyes and the hard work. You don't see that or hear a lot about that, but he put in a lot of hard work this winter, and it's paid off for him. Another good game for him, hitting 409 coming into today, and a big double to drive in a couple of runs.
So happy for that kid. Throw to third, and out at third base is Liddy trying to advance as the ball was down and away, but the throw by Ramirez was in time to nail Liddy, and that will retire the side. No runs a hit. The double by Liddy. We go to the eighth. Mariners leading Kansas City 6-2. Let's take a look at our Sterling Bank upcoming schedule here on Root Sports. Mariners will be taking on the Giants tomorrow night, and then Sunday our telecast will take you for a game between the Mariners and the Rockies against the Royals. Rockies in early April. Then the Mariners open up the season against the Oakland A's in Japan, March 28th and 29th, live 2:30 in the morning and 1:30 in the morning for Game 2, replayed later on that night at 7:30. So the season getting underway early for the Mariners and the A's in Tokyo, Japan. And then when we come back, Mike, more exhibition games here in the Cactus League early in April before the Mariners go on the road to Oakland and Texas.
Which is a great idea. Give the guys a chance as you take a look at the numbers for Cesar Jimenez, who's taking over. But give the Mariners a chance to get their legs back under them after all that travel before they have to start up. Because they have another 160 games to go after those 2 in Japan, right? You ready?
That's a heck of a road trip. I'm ready to go,
all
buddy.
Right.
I'm excited for this season. Leading things off, David Lowe, the left fielder, bunt attempt, left to the mound, picked up by Jimenez, fires the first, and it's in time to get Lowe. They took over left from Alex Gordon, so one away, trying to bunt his way aboard. Says Cesar. Gets to it quickly. Mariners lead the Royals by a score of 6-2. We're in the top half of the 8th inning. Rick Riz along with Mike Blowers. Back with you. Happy New Year, buddy. Our first telecast for 2012.
Yeah.
You had a family down here. Everybody had a great time at the pool. You got some sun, buddy.
Boy, they'll keep you out all day. I'll tell you that. Keep you busy, but that's all right.
Johnny Giovatola, the second baseman, with a strike 0-1. Bo didn't try the old cannonball thing in the pool, did he?
Oh, yeah.
That boy.
Yeah.
Good
of course.
job.
Of course.
Down and in. 1-1. Temperatures will be back in the low 80s tomorrow. Cooling off out there in the berm here at the Peoria Sports Complex. First game under the lights here in the Valley of the Sun. Low and inside ball 2-2-1. Mike, what do you remember about your very first Major League spring training? What stands out?
Well, I was one of those kids that we've been talking about that had number 96 on my back, and I was called up actually from minor league camp. I had a chance. I was with the Expos at the time. I had a chance to travel with the club and see this ground ball out to second base. Thanks, and I let the ball plan
off the glove of Stefan Romero. So an error on Romero and Giovatello.
So
at first,
I showed up at the minor league complex one morning, and they said, "Get your gear together. You're going to travel with the big league club." And I was with the Expos at the time, and I got to travel to Fort Lauderdale to play against the Yankees. And going along, I knew I was one of the extra guys. Didn't even think I was going to get into the game. But Buck Rogers, who was the manager of the Expos, you remember Buck Rogers?
Sure.
I was able to get in there. I think it was about the 4th inning. And my first hitter that I ever saw standing in a box as I was standing on the field was Dave Winfield.
Really? First guy.
Dave Winfield at 6'6". Came in, raked the batter's box halfway out to the mound.
Stick those
hit a
big
one hopper right
like
at me. Oh, hit a one hopper right at me, Ricky, that hit me right in the middle of the chest. Picked the ball up, threw him out, and then went right to the ground. Put the laces in my chest. It stayed there for about a week and a half.
Yeah, that left a mark, didn't it?
Yeah, I went back to minor league camp and told the guys they hit the ball a little bit harder up there.
Oh man. First spring training.
Yep, you never forget it.
He continued to do that too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Actually, it turned out to be a teammate of mine my rookie year.
Robinson pops it up left side of the infield and coming up the shortstop. Noriega to make the catch. So there's 2 outs for Kansas City here in the top of the 8th inning. Mariners lead 6-2, and this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners Baseball Club.
That's one of the reasons why Rick, when we see 92 and 96 and those guys out there, it always brings a smile on my face.
I love it.
Yeah, I do too. It's great experience for them, one, but I know they're just thrilled to be here. They don't care that it's in the 8th inning of a game. Yeah, they're happy to be out there, and it's good for them.
They'll play another 9 right now.
You bet.
Swing and a miss by Francoeur, going all the way in this
Get some experience, hopefully a little bit of success up here. Maybe mix in a base hit. It's great.
It helps because it worked for, remember Sean Green about 5 years ago? Big right-handed reliever. He was one of those guys. And you always need help because, you know, the starters only go for so long, and you need some extra pitchers, especially in these games when you're playing so many and every day. And he made a great impression. Went down to the minor leagues to start the year, but then when the Mariners needed some help, they said, remember that big guy that pitched well down at spring training against
super sinker
hitters? Super sinker, ground ball outs.
Keep the ball on the ground, throw some strikes.
Let's call him up.
You never know.
On a play down the right field side, and the count is 2-1. My first spring as a broadcaster. 1976, we went to Yuma, Arizona. It was with the Padres AA comp. The Amarillo Gold Sox. Ground ball to first, bobbled by Liddy, recovers, goes back to the bag, and gets the out on Francoeur, and that'll end the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 man left on. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Mariners lead the Royals 6-2.
Welcome back to Peoria. The Mariners lead it 6-2. Angie Mentink here, and maybe you've heard the Mariners just unveiled their new ad campaign. Well, every single year they make us laugh, but sometimes it's hard to catch them all. Well, don't worry about it. So we have got them all in one place for you, a special Mariners All Access where we've got all of the new commercials and all of the outtakes. Yep, for the very first time, we're going to take you behind the scenes for every single one of them, and it's going to hurt your stomach. Rick Reyes, you're going to laugh so hard.
The bloopers are the best part of the commercials, and Jimmy Copacino and his company, they do a tremendous job with those commercials every year. Guillermo Quiroz just hit a frozen rope at right at first baseman Clint Robertson to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning. Robertson hanging on to make the catch. So 1 out for the Mariners. Mariners leading Kansas City by a score of 6-2. And this is Jabari Blash replacing Michael Saunders tonight. Blash, one of the minor league kids, getting a chance to play. Another big night from Michael Saunders, and this great story continues from Michael. 1 for 2 tonight with an RBI double, 2 runs batted in actually, and a run scored.
And I'm sure Blash would like to swing the bat, so he gets himself in a good count, lays off with a couple of breaking balls. See if he can get himself a good fastball here and hit it hard somewhere.
Let it go, kid. 97 on his back. Fouls it away along the third base line, or is it foul? No, it's a fair ball picked up by Ramirez. That ball had some English on it. It stayed right on the line, picked up by the Kansas City catcher Max Ramirez, and Blash is out, 2 down.
Well, Blash thinks this is going to be a foul ball. He takes a look at it, hoping it goes foul.
At that point, you got to do some acting, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, it hit my leg, it hit my foot, it hit something
around
there. Oh, man, ow.
You know, you used to do it with the Salukis.
Exactly. That's the only way it got on first base on the JV team. Are you kidding me? Flop down. Here is Vinny Catricala. Vinny 2 for 2 tonight with 2 singles and a couple of runs batted in. Mike, I'm telling you, Eric Wedge, Jack Zarensic, and coaching staff, the front office, they're going to have some interesting decisions. Line drive, right field line, and making the catch on the run, Will Myers. That'll end the inning, but another good swing by Vinny Catricala. And we go to the top of the ninth. Last try for the Royals. Mariners 6, Kansas City 2.
Beautiful sunset there in Peoria. Mariners on top of the Royals 6-2 as we move to the final frame. Welcome back to the Northwest Sports Desk. Brad Adam with you once again this evening. We've got some MLS news for you. A new season of Major League Soccer kicking off this Saturday on Root Sports. That's right, coverage begins with Jack Dewsbury and the Portland Timbers in action against FC Dallas. Then it's a season opener for the Seattle Sounders as the Rave Green play host to Toronto FC. It all gets started this Saturday at 5:30 right here on Root Sports. As we go back to the firm and the boys up in the booth, it's Rick and Mike. Boy, it looks like a nice night out there, guys.
It really is, Brad. Our first night game of the Cactus League season. We go to the top half of the ninth inning. Mariners leading the Royals 6-2, and Tom Wilhelmsen, the big right-hander out of Tucson, looking to get the final 3 outs of this ball game.
Tom's numbers from last year: 3.31 ERA. Throws hard fastball will be 95, 96 miles an hour. Hard curveball. Good fastball in on the hands, 95.
Will Myers leading things off here in the top half of the ninth inning.
You were telling the great story about Steve Delabar, and how about Tom Wilhelmsen?
Incredible. He was in the minor leagues, drafted and signed by Jack Zarensic when Jack was the scouting director for the Milwaukee Brewers, and then left the game of baseball for 5 years.
So he wasn't having any fun.
Yeah. And then one day playing catch with his dad. So you know what? I think I want to try it again. Said he met his girlfriend, now his wife, and he said I had purpose in life. And he's throwing 95 miles an hour, goes out for a tryout, makes an independent league team down in Tucson. Mariner scout sees him, signs him, gets in the minor leagues, and he makes the ball club last year. And when he came back from AA Jackson, he went down there. Carl Willis, man, he was pleased with him last year. So was Eric Wedge there. He went down as a starter to get innings in and use all of his pitches, Mike. There's strike 3 called on Myers. So 1 away for Kansas City here in the top of the ninth inning. Say, friends, get suited up for spring training at the official online shop of the Seattle Mariners with the largest selection of authentic spring training gear, including clubhouse caps and T-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and more. Get set for spring at the official source, the Mariners.com shop. He struggled in the early part of the season, Mike, as a lot of young players do. He said, I was afraid. He admitted he was afraid. He said, you know what? I'm throwing 95 miles an hour. I'm going to make them afraid. I'm going to just go out there and throw strikes and see what happens. And he worked his way to the back of the bullpen. All of a sudden, at the end of the year, he's setting up for Brandon League.
Yeah, well, that's where he's going to start this year, and that's quite a jump when you think about everything that he had gone through over the last 2 years to where he's at now in camp as the setup guy to Brandon.
Well, those fouls went away.
And I asked him, I said, when you took that time off and you came back, that was 5 years.
That's a long time.
And I said, you're out here, you're pumping it in there at 96 miles an hour. When you first came back, was it not there? How long did it take? He said, you know what, Mike? No. He said, I started playing catch and I felt good right away. And maybe not having those years on my arm helped me because my fastball came right back.
Yeah. It was a growing up process for Tom, and man, he made the right decision. Irving Falou fouls one away off the screen behind home plate. 2-2 the count. Mariners looking for their 10th win of the spring. They go 10-3. Breaking ball, got him looking. Holy smokes. What a pitch by Tom Wilhelmsen. He strikes out Falou. 2 up, 2 down. A couple of Ks for Tom Wilhelmsen.
Great curveball from Tom. Yes, he throws 96 miles an hour, and then he can drop this hammer on you.
Oh, my.
And as Rick was just locked him up, no chance. And Rick, as you were saying, he was throwing that pitch a lot after he made the club and wasn't using his fastball, and that's where he was getting into trouble. And then when he came back, that's when he said, here we go. I'm going to go after some people, set things up, and then throw the curveball. That's a tough adjustment to make for a hitter.
Put a lot of people away. Yeah, you see 95. All of a sudden, you see that slow breaking ball. This is Jared Dyson. Kansas City down to their final out. 6-2 Mariners, top of the 9th inning. And that pitch down and away. Ball 1-1 ball and 1 strike. Great job by our television crew tonight. Mark Engelbrecht, Curtis Wilson, and everybody, all the cameramen, getting the great shots this evening. Our first telecast of the year. One out for the third, snared by Cantrell. Toss across in time to get Dyson. This one is over. The Mariners win it 6-2 over the Kansas City Royals. They go to 10-3 for the Cactus League season. Mike Blowers with that one tie. Outstanding pitching tonight.
A lot of good things in the game tonight. Tom Wilhelmsen being one of them, a clean inning for him. And then you go back and you look at Millwood and the job that he did getting his 4 innings in, didn't give up a run. So I thought he pitched well. And then Michael Saunders really turning into the story of this spring. Again, another good game, a double out into the left center field, drives in a couple of runs. Mariners keep hitting. Eric Wedge has to be pleased right now.
How about that? All the struggles offensively for this club last year, last in the major leagues, and then they turn things around, and these kids are getting it done along with the veterans, and they put on the board 6 runs tonight on 8 base hits. Let's go down to the field and get some comments from the skipper.
Then he really found it. I mean, he controlled the damage early on, made pitches, which you like to see, and then just kept getting better. So you gotta like the way he threw the ball, and we wanted to get Delabar a couple of innings. He threw the ball well too. So we got a lot of guys competing for these final spots, whether it be in the rotation or in the bullpen, and this is an important week.
Offensively, when you're putting those innings together, we're seeing less swing and miss and more bat on ball, it would appear. How much of a focus?
Well, and a much better job with 2 strikes. I mean, I think the Miguel Oliva at bat was a great example. I mean, from a year ago where he was to where he is today. I mean, down 0-2 and fights back and gets a walk. Doing a better job of fouling off tough pitches with 2 strikes and staying in the at bat, and hopefully getting a better pitch to hit. They're up there ready. They're up there doing a better job in hitters counts. everybody's, again, like I've said so many times, they're their own story, but what they're trying to work on, collectively, it's been pretty good, and individually, they're starting to understand too.
Carlos Peguero looked like he bounced back a little bit.
Well, that's what he's got to do. I mean, he has to understand that himself. I mean, just to be more under control, see the ball, and all he has to do is just touch it. If he touches it, he's so strong. The rest is going to take care of itself. So, that was a better night. He has to learn from those at bats.
When Figgins has been off, we've seen quite a bit of Ackley leading off. Could we see that during the season?
Yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, I feel comfortable with him. Really 1, 2, or 3. I mean, he's capable of doing that. You get a different element when he's leading off than with Figgy. But I also like it when we set it up with Figgy, Ackley, Figgins, Figgy, Ackley, and Ichi, and then on down the line. So, with Figgins playing all over the place, we'll have different types of lineups like that.
Skip, coming into the spring, Michael Saunders said he was not going to look at the numbers, the outside chance that he had of making this team, but maybe all of a sudden those numbers look a lot more in his favor. Well,
he's had a great spring. I mean, he looks like a totally different hitter. I mean, he's a complete ball player. So, but the one area, which is the most important area, obviously, is the offense. That's where he's struggled here last, a couple of years or so. But he's up there ready to hit. He's walking around. He's stronger. He's got a little swagger to him, more presence at home plate. He has all the tools, and I like the fact that he's just up there ready to compete and not in between. You hear me talk about that all the time, and I think that he was, the greatest example of that last year. But he's completely opposite now.
Kevin Millwood and what he is able to do, if he was able to make this team, what would that do for your young staff?
Well, it's something that we have to consider because we had him in 05, and I know what he did for the CCs and the Cliffs of the world, and what he meant for those young starting pitchers. And we've got a lot of young players here. I mean, and he has an influence on the position players too, which is rare, from a pitcher. And usually it's presence with the position players to position players, and the same thing with pitchers. But the way he carries himself, the way he sees the game, the way he understands the game. Obviously it was a good night for him.
That's the skipper, Eric Wedge. And Rick, I will echo that just a little bit. Every single position player and pitcher that came down and was watching Millwood on our monitor at the end of the dugout had something fantastic to say about the way this guy carries himself and what a leader he is in this clubhouse.
Absolutely, Angie. Thank you very much. Yeah, nice outing for the 37-year-old right-handed veteran Kevin Millwood tonight, getting the win. The Mariners over the Kansas City Royals here in the desert of Peoria, Arizona. They won it by a score of 6-2. Say, friends, we're going to be back tomorrow night with more Cactus League action from Peoria, where the Mariners host the San Francisco Giants right here on Root Sports at 6:30. Stay tuned. Mariners All Access is coming up next. Mike and I will wrap up this game. Jen Mueller checks in on Sean Kelly, and the Mariners tell us who has the best home run trot. Mariners All Access is coming your way right now on Root Sports.